Give me coffee in the morning, gotta have the caffeine. Wake me up, shake me up, dip me back a lusty. One sip, two sips, and I'm feeling so alive. Coffee in the morning, it's the best way to survive. Woke up in the morning, sleepy eyes yawning. Jumped out of bed, started the day, opened the curtains. Felt the cool breeze, the sun shining on my face. But something was missing, I needed my job to chase. Give me coffee in the morning, give me coffee in the morning, gotta have the caffeine. Wake me up, shake me up, dip me back a lusty. One sip, two sips, and I'm feeling so alive. Coffee in the morning, it's the best way to survive.
Good morning, beautiful souls. How are y'all doing this morning? I'm doing pretty good. Oh, I wasn't on mute, was I? Sorry, I was singing. Y'all caught me. I can't help it. And it's actually sunny, well, partially sunny today, so I need that sun shining on my face. I had a cloudy, rainy day yesterday, so I'm assuming y'all can hear me if you heard me singing. So good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Grab your coffee, your tea, whatever your vice might be, right? I'm still having coffee, so getting woke up here. All right. Welcome in, Butterfly. Welcome in, Forest. Let's see, who else do we have in here? Tricia, welcome in. Carrie, good morning. We'll give everybody a few minutes to get in here. Pull up my chat on my phone because Restream is so slow. Like, I won't even see you guys' comments if I'm looking at my computer because it's not showing them in real time for some reason. Never does. All right, guys. So I got a busy day. We're gonna go over a little bit of this Coburger stuff again this morning, and then we're gonna dip out and we're gonna come back because I have another live scheduled to come back on at 10:45 because we will be witnessing the final sentencing of Lori Vallow. So good riddance to bad rubbish kind of thing. She did one last little public interview, and boy, it was a hot mess. So whatever, Miss Thing. So we're going to come back and do that. And then tonight, I'll be over on Publicly Buzzed with Miss Shorty hanging out with Steve over there on Feral Friday. So you guys go over and turn your notifications for Feral Friday if you're into that. It'll be a good, fun time. It's always fun over there. I love hanging out with Miss Shorty and Steve. We all three kind of cuss the same, so it might be real interesting. Carrie, did the baby interrupt your coffee making? You said you need to finish making your coffee. What happened? You got distracted? That's so easy to happen. All right, guys. So Joe is going to be boots on the ground down there for Lori's trial or sentencing. I'll get it right one day. He's 2 hours behind me. They are in Arizona. So I don't know. I know he was getting up around 3 a.m. his time to head out there. Okay, he did post something for us 11 minutes ago. I told him we was going to be trolling his Twitter today. If one of my mods, y'all got drop Joe's Twitter link, please, and channel. Anyway, oh yeah, Tricia. Steve's awesome. It's always such a good time over there hanging out with him. Just kind of like, have fun kind of thing. Because I think what we'll be doing is kicking it off on YouTube, and then we all head over to the Kick app and we watch a movie. I have no clue what movie we're doing tonight. I don't even know what kind of movie. I don't know what this guy's got planned for me over there tonight, guys. I'm just going to roll with it, right? It's the best way to be. So Joe reports 11 minutes ago that it's Friday morning in Phoenix, and I am here counting down to the final sentencing hearings for Lori Vallow. We will hear victim impact statements from the families of both Charles Vallow and Brandon Boudreaux before the judge sentences her. And there's also going to be a press conference scheduled after the sentencing, obviously, and we'll see what they have to say when that happens. So, with all that said, I'm just going to dive right back in. Now, guys, I went over. Let me get my. Why's my screen not? Oh, user error. Never mind. We went over some of the ones that Joe went over on his show, and I'm not even sure exactly which reports, as far as numbered, which ones he went over. The ones I have blocked for us to go over, we're going over them in sequence. But after this morning, because we're only going to be on here like an hour maybe. So after we get through some of these smaller reports this morning, I am continuing to move through all of the documents, and I'm going to be picking out the most important ones, right? And I'm planning to come back on Sunday because I take Saturdays off. I have to regroup. But Sunday, I'm pretty sure I have plans right now to come back on here Sunday afternoon and put together a big show to get through a lot more of these documents. And I want to make sure we're going through the really important investigative documents. So that's the angle we're going to take. And I don't know what time I'll be back on Sunday Live yet. It will be toward the afternoon, but I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. All right, let me pull up these files. And hopefully today, this thing will cooperate with me. We will see. I appreciate you guys' patience through all that. So we left off on number 11 yesterday. Damn it, it did it again. Oh, because I did it differently. Shoot. Okay, I gotta go. I have to go through a different door to get it. I just remembered. Okay. I don't know if we're gonna have like a movie voting thing tonight, like he did with last weekend's. So we'll see. Okay. And now I need to go be patient, let it download, and go grab number 12 so we can read it. There we go. I found the magic sauce. I just gotta be patient. All right, now you guys can see it just like I can. Yay. Okay. Now, like I said, we did cover just the first 11 reports is all we were able to move through here yesterday. We're just going to get through a few more of these this morning. This one was written Detective Gunderson. We've always known he was a big part of the case as far as investigating. And there were these two big dumpsters sitting across the street. Well, they were technically across the street between Queen and the King Road house and the Queen Road apartments right there. There are these two big dumpsters there. You guys might have seen some of those in photographs that were floating around from the area. So I'm assuming that is these dumpsters. On 11/14/22, I responded to the area of King Road and Queen Road. I photographed and looked in the three dumpsters in the area. Outside King Road, well, that's redacted at King Road, 1122 King Road, and another one at King Road. So there's three dumpsters in total up and down the little road there. All three dumpsters were located on the street. I saw nothing of evidentiary value in the dumpsters. I photographed them and cleared the area. ISP later pulled the trash pursuant to the investigation. Some blood was located on the second floor at redacted Taylor Avenue. Taylor Avenue is commonly referred to as the Whites. Now, Taylor Avenue Apartments, if you're at the King Road location facing Sigma Chi, to the right is the brick apartments. That's your Queen Road. But directly in front of them is another set of apartments. They're white, and that's called the Whites. And it's facing Taylor Avenue. Taylor Ave is commonly referred to as the Whites, and in fact, that's where Emily and Hunter were at when Dylan called them over, and is a known party location. The blood was isolated to one area with no trail to either area. I photographed the blood and notified scene investigators. I wonder what prompted them. Did they find it like around the building? You know what I'm saying? Not like in someone's apartment. Like you're gonna just go all through all their homes without a warrant. So I'm assuming this may have been found outside, right? Um, Officer House and I walked various areas around the crime scene looking for evidence. Oh, are you the one who picked up the black jacket from the fire hydrant? The two of you? And you stand there and you look at it and you talk about it and you wonder about it and then you throw it back down on the ground and walk away? That's the only issue I ever found. Also, guys, it bugs me. I don't know because I know Maddie was wearing a black jacket that night, and what they appear to pick up looks just like what Maddie was wearing. Crazy. And they just toss it back on the ground and walk away. They didn't put no evidence markers down, call crime scene over, nothing. Just weird. How did you know that wasn't evidentiary, right? Okay. So at that time, they didn't know about the grub truck video. All right, that was it of number 12. So they did pull the dumpsters because everybody was like, did they ever take those dumpsters? They remained full for a minute. And it was kind of weird that those dumpsters, every time we see a picture or news was outside or whatever, these dumpsters appeared to be overflowing. And it's like, how do y'all know there's nothing in there? Because it doesn't appear y'all have taken them away to like dump them. You know what I mean? But I guess they did their due diligence. No knives were recovered from the garbage. No black balaclavas. All that jazz. All right. You better act right. It acted right. God darn it. Y'all, I think I figured this out. Okay. This one was by Roger Lanier. Good morning, Pokemon. Joe, we did make contact with Joe. I talked to Joe. Actually, Joe and I talked for quite a while last night. We just got on this little talking roll and neither one of us would shut up. But anyway, I let him go at some point so I could come in and take a shower. I was outside and he went to go to bed and get him a little sleep. He was getting up at 3 a.m. and we just reported that he is at the courthouse waiting to get in this morning. So he wasn't positive about going live tonight. He was going to let us know later if he decided to go. All right. I told him when we get done with this live, because we're going to come back to do Lori, we'll go check his Twitter before we wrap up here for the morning. Okay, so this is supplemental report number 13. Roger Lanier, who was the captain at the time of the Moscow Police Department. And this concerns the Corner Club video. And for those of you who may not know, if you weren't following the cases closely, this is the second last known location of Kaylee and Maddie. They were at the Corner Club from about 10:30-ish. Between 10 and 10:30, they arrived at the Corner Club. From their home, they got an Uber ride to the Corner Club. They were there for several hours, and then they ended up going down to the grub truck. So they go and obtain the video at the Corner Club. We had seen screenshot. Do you guys remember that screenshot that was floating around forever of Kaylee and Maddie inside the Corner Club, and the guy they were talking to was Jack Decor? Everybody tried to 5 Ways of Sunday to figure out that wasn't Jack, it was Jack, all these things, right? Who these girls were talking to. And it was a screenshot from the video that night that somebody leaked. Well, we'll just say somebody leaked and leave it at that. I'll leave that up to the investigators to figure out who did all that. I think he's already outed himself, but what are they going to do to him? November 15, 2022, at 9:30, myself and Detective Mallory responded to the Corner Club, and they redact the address, to contact the owner. This was a pre-arranged meeting to view video from the evening of November 12th to the early morning hours of November 13th. The purpose was to confirm that Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez were at the Corner Club, as had been reported, and try to identify individuals seen on the grub truck video later in the morning. I think they were looking to see if there were any interactions between them and Showalter at the Corner Club. Who else from the grub truck would they were looking at, right? Joe Vito or whatever that dude's name was. Individuals seen on the grub truck video later in the morning, specifically a male who appeared to be accompanying them. Yeah, they were looking for Jack. Upon arrival, Redacted already had the video up on the screen and queued to the proper time frame. Detective Mowry began scrolling through the video, which consisted of multiple views and multiple screens that were all in time sync. We determined that Concalves and Mogan arrived at the Corner Club at 2000 hours in a Prius-type vehicle with one other unidentified female. The vehicle was determined to be an Uber vehicle and the driver identified. Goncalves and Mogan mingle around the bar, but spend most of their time in the front along the bar next to the left end as you face the bar. They make occasional trips to the restroom and speak to several people as they mingle. At 22, which is 12:22, Kaylee paid her bar tab using her CC, which consisted of 9 well vodka and 2 add juice. Damn girl, get down with some vodka. If I drink a shot of whiskey, I like that shit straight. I don't even use a chaser, and I rarely drink. I don't know how I do it. At approximately 1, Kaylee engages in a conversation with a subject identified by bar staff as, and it says J, and then it's S, so that's not Jack DeCour. So I'm going to say, is that Jack Showalter, right? Showalter was seen with Galvez and Mogan in the Grub Truck video later in the evening. This appeared to be a consensual conversation, and it appeared they knew each other. I wonder when they realized they had them on video walking down the darn sidewalk, right? What did you say to Adam? I told Adam everything. That was Kaylee and Maddie and Jack walking from Corner Club down to the Grub Truck. That was, so they got him at the Grub Truck, they got him walking down the sidewalk to the Grub Truck, and they got him on video at the Grub Truck. This appeared to be a consensual conversation. Okay. At approximately 1:14, Mogan joins the conversation, and all three remain generally in the area of the bar near the wall. Nothing stood out during that time, and both appeared to know, and that's Showalter. At 1:31, Redacted paid his bar tab with his CC, consisting of 5, what is this, can BTL? What is 2 kamikazes? I can't even say it. It's been so long since I partied like a kid. After paying, he walked to the back of the bar, went into the restroom, went back out, retrieved his coat, and came back to an area. I can't be saying much because if it was just talking about other stuff, I'd know exactly what they was talking about. Pokemon, you understand where I'm going with that one. What's the level of THC concentration? No shame for you people who love your alcohol. He walked to the back of the bar, went into the restroom, came back out, retrieved his coat, and came back to an area near the exit where Concalves and Mogan were waiting. Redacted waited in the background while the girls finished conversing with others. Then they all exited the building at 1:37. The parking lot camera shows them walking away together across, then out of the parking lot in a westerly direction. They were all dressed the same in the Grub Truck video, with Showalter wearing a white or very light colored hoodie. That's how he became Hoodie Guy. Ooh, that whiskey burn, right, Pokemon? Sometimes you got to feel that burn, make it burn, right? Knock my 10-inch ass off on the floor. We're going to make me start singing country songs, guys. Yeah, sometimes that burn is what you need. Burn it all down. Give me a match. While reviewing the video, we also recognize Jack DeCour, who was reported to be Concalves' ex-boyfriend. We did not track his movement in the video, but he appeared to spend most of his time at the opposite end of the business, seated with several other males. Now remember, Jack and Kaylee had on again, off again, broken up a little here, and they were broke up. She's about to go to Texas to start her new life. He's like, no, stay here with me and Murphy. And she's like, no, I'm taking Murphy. And he's like, no, I want Murphy. And then, oh man, it's on, right? And these two didn't know what the heck to do. about their future. And that's sad. They were trying to figure it out when all this happened. We did not track his movements. Okay. At one point, there appeared to be a brief interaction with Concalves that looked cordial and in passing. Decor left at 1:51. Now remember, when these girls get back to their house, phone records show they were calling Jack over and over and over. Kaylee's like, "You're going to talk to me, and you're going to talk to me now." And he's like, "Not tonight, Kaylee." At one point, there appeared to be a brief interaction. Okay. Also noticed in the video was a subject seen in the Grub Truck video. I recognized him because of his unique sweater and long hair and beard. Oh, I know who he's talking about. He was identified as redacted by the bar staff. He checked out at midnight using credit card in the same name, showing to microtub. What the hell's a microtub, guys? Like a mini shot? I am too old for this shit. I don't know what a microtub is. All right. I didn't notice any interaction between Redacted and Gonzalez and Mogan. That'd be the guy wearing that weird poncho, I think. You know what I'm talking about, Pokemon? He's wearing that poncho, got the long hair and the beard in the Grub Truck video. A third subject who was seen in the Grub Truck video was also observed in the corner club, and we're not able to identify him. He is a stocky-built white male with brown hair and facial hair, wearing a brownish sweater. Oh, we know who that is too, Vito. I did not observe any interaction between him and Gonzalez or Mogan. Oh, yeah, but he wanted to come out on YouTube and get his 5 minutes talking about how disgustingly drunk Madison Mogan was, and she was in people's faces and falling all over. And that we saw the video. That's not even true. She pointed directly at you, sir, and said, "Go fuck yourself." And we don't know why. What'd you say to her that was derogatory? Anyway, that's who that is. Because the video file was extremely large, Detective Mowry was unable to copy it an external storage device. We left the business and Mowry working, obtaining a usable copy of the video for a closer view. Well, I want to highlight this one because I need to go back over this one later. I'm investigating the investigation, y'all. Hey, Wildside, welcome in. Okay, so that was number 12. I'm sorry, that was number 13. Keep track. All right, let me go through the motions here to get this thing to cooperate. Okay, now let it upload. There we go. Number 13. We're going down to number 14 now. Okay. It's really insightful to get a vision into the investigation, right? To see what all, because for so long it was like, oh, they're not doing anything, they're not investigating, we don't know anything, blah, 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 all this stuff. And they were looking into a lot of things and a lot of people, and some of the rumors social media had floating around out there, like Mexican drug cartels, all of the above. This is from Danny Vargas. I think Vargas was one of the ones Anne requested training records on because I believe he was available or witness to the autopsies. One of those three. Evidence collected from Jay Talbot, who was ISP officer, and interviews with neighbors. Okay. All right, evidence collected from ISP officer Talbot on November 14th, 2022. I went to 1122 King Road with Sergeant Blaker. to observe the scene. I walked through the house and around the outside of the residence, along with other investigators, looking for possible evidence. ISP investigators were on scene, walking through for a second time, looking for additional evidence. I walked around the south side of 1122 King Road, up the hill, and along the fence line for redacted address of Walenta. Interesting to me because I'm all over some Walenta road. I mean, I'm obsessed with this damn road. Always have been. From the minute I started trolling that town, that community, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. You can literally drive right down that road and get a full view of King Road and all the neighbors down there in the little fishbowl, especially that time of the year when the foliage is not prominent. You can park back there, a little parking pad, get out of your car and walk around and mingle right along with the college kids and see everything going down at King Road from Walenta Drive. I always wondered, did he park on Walenta and make his way to that home until we had leaked footage come out telling us otherwise. I walked around the south, up the hill, and along the fence line. If y'all notice, if you're looking at the King Road house to the right, the houses there's a fence, right? And it goes all the way back up toward Willenta. The backyard for redacted Willenta backs up to the backyard of 1122. Man, don't tell me there's a camera because I've been trolling them places hard looking for cameras. Doc Thrifty, you got the best camera footage of everybody out there, but you took that shit down a long time ago. Not because it's Idaho 4, but because other stuff. Please put it back up. The backyard for Lenta backs up to the backyard of 1122. I spoke with Redacted at Walenta and asked for his permission to look through his backyard area, which he said I could. Redacted told me he was a person who previously called dispatch to provide information about what he observed. I told Redacted after looking over the area and through the residence of on King Road, I would come back and get a statement from him. I did not locate anything of interest. Sorry, I had a notification in the backyard of Willenta residence or on the hillside behind 1122. That's going to be the house that butts up directly behind them. I walked into, and that's the one that I think is blurred out on Google Maps, where it turns into Ridge. Okay, never mind. Sorry, going down a rabbit hole in my head. I did not locate anything of interest in the backyard. Okay, the following 4 evidence items were collected by ISP Talbot inside 1122 King Road on November 14th and turned over to me on scene. ISP took photos of items in the places they were collected from. I booked the following items into Moscow police evidence. A copy of the evidence property receipt relating to these items is attached. Exhibit 57's rolled $2 bill. Oh, Lordy. Rolled $2 bill located on the desk in F2, bedroom 1. There's some stuff in these documents that are going to come up that was possibly belonged to Ethan and Xana. No shade. I was your age one time too. Blue powder, suspected drugs located on the desk. Y'all was not crushing up pills, was you? Ew. Blood sample, west wall, F2 living room. So there was blood from the living room wall. Why is there blood on the living room wall? Blood sample, northwest wall. So we knew about the blood on the stairwell, right? From the documents that came down in the motions in Lemony when Ann talked about the 2 unknown samples or whatever in the house. We knew one of those came from the stairwell or the stair handrail. This is coming from the living room wall. I always wondered, did Xana's attack start in that living room? I spoke with the following people. I'd like to know the results of those tests. So he spoke with people who lived at Walenta, the conversations which my conversations with, and they're all redacted, were recorded and are attached. Okay, I need to highlight this one too. This is never going to end, is it, guys? Who is rolling a $2 bill? Well, they're using it. Yeah, that's. I didn't think about the Adderall Pokemon because I'm old school, right? I'm thinking fucking Blue Lortab pain pill. That's people I used to know would do that. I could never. I don't know why I'd want to snort a pill, right? Just swallow the damn thing if you're going to actually take one. But you're right because Adderall is a huge problem, right? And those pills are blue. Am I correct? I don't know what they look like, guys. I don't have kids on Adderall or anything, but I know that's a serious problem. Hmm. Interesting. Thank you, Shelley. I love you guys and your insight. When I don't know stuff, y'all do. College kids doing college kid stuff. Exactly, Pokemon. I mean, I'm not, trust me, I'm a product of the 80s, y'all. Go Ozzy Osbourne. Y'all don't know how hard I went back in the day. But I damn sure was street smart. I didn't play around. You wasn't getting me. No boogeyman's getting me. I'll have to get you with my weapon. Don't think I wasn't prepared. Oh, goodness. Good times had by all. I honestly don't know how I survived some of that stuff. Lord, mama before she was mama. Okay, so we're now going on to number 15. I'm also keeping an eye on the time so we can get out of here and come back before we finally put Miss Lori to rest. You know, guys, I was thinking last night when I was talking to Joe, I was like, Joe, I was like, Idaho is home to Chad Daybell, Brian Koberger, and they're about to get Lori returned to them. They got the three highest profile cases over the last, what, decade? Sitting right there in Idaho state prisons. I predict that Lori will try to fall in love with Koberger or use him to make Chad jealous. What do y'all think? Is Lori fishing in the jail? Koberger, pass this note to Chad. Don't read it. Dumbass. I gotta have some fun with them, y'all. Okay, so now we're up to supplemental report number 15. Orange or blue, depending on the dosage. Okay, I guess that's true, right? Because there is a different strength level. I know this one medication I used to take a long time ago was like that. I noticed when the doctors changed the strength of it or whatever, the color changed. So yeah, I get that. Yep. Oh goodness. So anyway, maybe that was part of the drug rumors, right? Angle people were like, if because people who knew these kids knew they may probably maybe dabbled in whatever. So always knew there had to be a lot of rumors flying around the streets there, in the town, and some of those were probably were being trickled out, and that's where the drug cartels and the house was the target because they were selling drugs. So there might be a little bit of truth to some of the rumors, but not a whole lot, right? Totally embellish stuff. Alrighty. So now we're up to number 15, and this is Aaron Morris. Welcome in, Christine. If I missed you, I didn't see anything. Thanks for coming in, guys. All right. This is a report from Aaron Morris, and this one is dated for the 15th of November. I've kept forgetting to read out the dates, guys. These are days, and some within days, some within a week of the incident. Contact with the Women's Center, and then the name is redacted. Interview, and it's a contact number, but it's a follow up with the Greek life, okay? Because the girls were all involved in Greek life. We heard all the Greek life rumors so early on in this investigation. Oh, butterfly, people out there talking about these kids using drugs and stuff, like throwing shade at them, because I will come at them right now. Like, I have waited 3 years to come at some of these people because not because they came at me, because they came at these kids. And I'm over it. The dude said I did it. He's already in the freaking prison. Come at us and say something. Come on. You think Olivia Gonzalez is the most badass big sister on the planet? I got 6 younger siblings. Tell them to bring it, Butterfly. Y'all send them our direction. We'll tell them what's up. I ain't playing with these fools. Y'all ignore them. Don't let them get all up in your space. If you want to go defend these kids out there on these streets, y'all go for it. Otherwise, just try not to let it eat your energy up. Put it all into supporting them and lifting them up, and realizing they're all just normal kids being normal kids, right? Some of these adults going to forget what it was like to be a child. I swore when I was 16 years old, if I ever have kids, because I said I wasn't, I got 4. If I ever have kids, I will not forget what it was like to be 16. And guess what? Damn it, I didn't forget. I made a point to remember. All these grown-ups are weird. On 11/15/2022, Redacted came to the Moscow police substation to speak with Officer Rosinski and I regarding an incident possibly related to the homicide that occurred on 11/13/2022. They stated on 10/21/2022, an unidentified white male came into the women's center and asked to speak to someone. Redacted spoke to the male. She stated he asked for snacks and appeared to be under the influence. She stated the interaction only lasted about 5 minutes. Redacted stated the male said he had a female friend who was in an abusive relationship. The male stated he was afraid the female would be hurt by her boyfriend and was also afraid he would hurt the boyfriend due to the abusive behavior. Redacted did not gather any names. Did you ask him to provide names from your representative at the women's center? He's telling you he's worried. You didn't. Weird. If they had any contacts with any of the victims. They said they did not, and they did not have any of their contacts documented. On 11/15/2022, at approximately 11:50 hours, Redacted came into the substation to speak to me. And it's AA, whoever this is. I was told by Corporal Payne, Redacted went to Gritman on 11/13 to seek medical care for cuts on his hand. Oh, on 11/13. I asked Redacted what happened to his hand. He stated that on 11/12 at around 2, he cut his hand attempting to cut chicken for a sandwich. Oh, goodness. Redacted stated he was intoxicated, and when he was trying to cut the meat, his pocket knife slipped and cut his hand. And I asked if he went to the hospital. He read his wristband from the hospital and said he went on 11/13 at 1400 hours. What are y'all talking about? So so he's cutting chicken with his pocket knife. He slips and he cuts his hand. So the next day he goes to get his hand treated and taken care of. Trying to cut the meat. Oh, don't cut that damn meat when you're drinking with a damn pocket knife of all things. He read his wristband from the hospital and said he went in on 11/13 at 1400 hours. Redacted told me he lived at the Redacted house. The laceration was on his right hand. He sent me a photograph of the injury. Hold on, I had to mark something off here. Okay. Of the injury. The laceration was on his right hand. He sent me a photograph of the injury and I attached it to the case. I asked Redacted if he knew of the victims, and he stated he had seen Ethan 2 times at parties but did not know any of the females. He said the Redacted sister house was Redacted. I mean, that's the sorority house, I guess. He said it was a national standard but had friends from multiple sororities. Redacted ran me through this weekend from Saturday morning. His weekend. He stated he slept in on Saturday morning, which is 11/12/2022. He woke up around 9:30. He said he went out to the tree house, which was a redacted outhouse located on Taylor Avenue. He said he spent the whole day there watching the game. He said he left the treehouse at around 19:30 hours and went back to Elm Street. He said he was drinking all night and he finally went to bed on 11:13 at around 4 a.m. He said he was with his friends, and then he lists, they're all redacted, of course. Um, he said he and Redacted were walking downstairs at the house when Redacted missed a step and fell into the window. Redacted said that at the time, neither he or the other person saw any blood. He said was actually cutting chicken when he saw the injury. So the other person fell down, and this person cuts his hand. Was extremely intoxicated and thought he cut his hand while cutting the chicken, but Redacted believe he cut it on the on the glass. So this dude didn't know how he cut his hand. Redacted said he was willing to sign a consent form for medical records if we needed them. He said he would not remember if he cut his hand on the window or the knife. He said his friends told him to go to the hospital to make sure there was no glass in his hand. I went. He showed me the window they found broken. I photographed the window and attached it to the case. On 11/16, I responded to Redacted at Main Street. A person of interest, it's got the initials JS. I'm assuming that could be Jack Showalter, lived at Redacted. LS is the initials, confirmed, lived at the unit alone. Yeah, because Showalter had a place of his own. They said they did offer free internet service to tenants. Sorry, my dog distracted me. Through Redacted. He said they could not see who used the service. I asked Redacted if any of their tenants tried to get out of their lease recently. Oh, that's a good question. They said no. They said Redacted started his lease on 7/18 of 2022. July. Everybody came in July. Maddie came back from Boise from her summer internship. Kaylee was graduating early, getting her shit, getting ready to go to Texas. All these kids are, crazy. Cobra got there in July, getting ready to start his big WSU career. I responded to Redacted to see if Redacted utilized the internet service they provided. The employee gave me a paper with all tenants from Queen Road that used it. Redacted did not use the service. On 11/16/2022, I was asked to follow up on individuals connected to the victims or people of interest. The names provided were, again, all redacted. I called the Dean of Students office for phone numbers of all redacted, and the first two stated he was at home in Boise. One stated they lived together in Meridian. Another one, they passed that information on to Barrett. I was told TLOs, redacted and redacted. I got a number from, good Lord, all these redacteds make me sound crazy. He provided his home address in Boise. So they're all just telling them their information of where they reside and how to reach them, I guess. Redacted name was brought up. 11/16, all these redacteds came into the office. From the DOS office came to the ICE sub. Redacted stated he had information regarding the homicide. Redacted stated the DOS office had a debrief to check in on everyone. Redacted said Jack Decor was brought up. That's got to be Jack Decor. Well, Pokemon, the only ones I know that will cut chicken with their pocket knife is be my daddy on the riverbank. I'm not even going to lie. But these are country boys in Idaho too. They're hunters, right? So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. These boys will whip out a pocket knife and get jiggy with it It don't matter what you need done. They got a pocket knife, you know. And where I'm from, if the guy don't got a pocket knife, it's like, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to have a pocket knife, right? I don't know. These are boys, right? The girl, she's not going to do that. She's going to go in there in her kitchen and get her real knife out. Y'all know how them boys be when we're not looking. They act like we didn't train them at all. Like, what, mama? I didn't have one. I see my grown son do things sometimes. I'm like, dude, did you forget all the stuff I taught you? He looks at me kind of funny. So Jack Decor's name was brought up. He said it got him thinking about Decor had a recent care report put in on him. Now, I don't know that is Jack Decor, so let me just state that officially. I don't know. I just assumed. All right. On 11/3/22, Redacted emailed the DOS saying he had a few different circumstances in my life that have substantially decreased my mental health. On 11/4/22, Redacted called Redacted again. Okay, so he seemed distant, distracted, and sad. Also brought up the grub truck video. He said he was guessing, but he believed it was Decor or whoever following the victims and hovering around them. Well, they quickly verified that it wasn't. Redacted also said after finding out what had happened, Redacted was more concerned with his dog. This is definitely about Jack. I thanked Redacted for the information. Of course, he was concerned about the dog. Kaylee was gone now, too. I mean, wow. Maybe so. The report came in on 11/3 for Jack. I wonder if what was going on with him and Kaylee had him in a feeling some kind of way. Do you know what I'm saying? And if he knew enough, if he had enough self-awareness to reach out, then hey, you can't frown upon that shit. It's those ones who never reach out you need to worry about. Remember Mental Health in America? Do something about it. Here we go. A young guy trying to do something about it. I thanked him for the information, and I asked if he was able to provide care reports for Redacted they referenced. So Redacted said they did not seem hugely concerning, but would attempt to gather them. So that's super interesting, right? And of course, if you're an investigator, though, and you see that, you're going to have more questions to follow up on. That would be natural as an investigator. Hang on, guys. I got to make a note. Okay. 9:49. Of course, they signed it. It's all true and accurate. Except for that one guy's report. But he fixed it in the end, so we'll leave him alone. I wonder what was going through their minds when they were finding that information. It's like, God, who did this? And it took so, to me, everybody kept saying it took so long to get the guy. In my mind, it wasn't really, what was it, 6 weeks? Sometimes it takes longer than that. Sometimes you never find the perpetrator. That dude could have went off into the wilderness and offed himself, never to be found. That's not what he chose to do. He chose to drive back home and y'all know the rest. A snake. Oh yeah, Carrie, you can't live in Florida without a machete, right? You just can't. I don't talk about snakes, Pokemon. I don't like them. I will. I look. I'm not a. You get me spiders, bugs. I don't care. Do not bring a snake near me. Things is gonna get real bad, real fast. And don't try to tell me it's a good one. All right, I don't care. Snake is a snake is a snake. All right. It done got all cloudy again here, like it's gonna rain again. But I'm not going to complain because it's kept my humidity down for the last 2 days and I can actually sit outside a lot longer and enjoy it. All right, so here we have a John Lawrence narrative, and this one was on the 15th, so 2 days after. I think this one pertains to Corner Club witnesses. Let's see. A kid brought a snake into his mama. Look, when my youngest was 3 years old, he comes down the hallway, and I'm sitting in a recliner with my back to this kid. He comes around my chair, and into my lap, he tosses a rubber snake. He thought that shit was so funny at 3 years old. I came unglued out of my chair. And that was it. I told his dad, don't you ever buy this kid another toy snake at the store. I don't know. It's not coming in my house. He learned that day we can't really scare mama with snakes. It won't work out in our benefit. We might get hurt by accident, right? I'm like, kiddo, you don't know what just about happened to you. 3 years old, the little shit knew I didn't like snakes, and here he comes throwing a damn rubber snake at me. What's wrong with you, boy? Okay, so like I was saying, this is John Lawrence report, 11:15. When I arrived at work, I had several voicemails on my desk phone. I be, I gotta refill my coffee, guys, and I need to check on that grandbaby. He got up, but he's being super quiet again. Let me go take a peek at him, and I'll be right back, guys. Okay, thank you. He's cool. He's chilling like a villain. And I need to so he began to review the voicemails that he had received. Most of the voicemails were tips on the current homicide investigation. Many of the tips were about the live feed from the grub truck. Okay. Sorry, guys, I was putting something in a cup and I didn't want to not look at what I was doing. It would have been disastrous. Throughout the day, I fielded several calls from people with possible information they believed to be of importance to the investigation. I received a call from Redacted. They told me she was at the Corner Club with two of the victims, Madison and Kaylee, the night prior to the murders. She told me there was a college aged male known by Madison. Again, that would be going back to Showalter, I believe. Redacted told me the male was wearing a black and white flannel shirt with a black shirt underneath and had writing in white letters that said antisocial. We could never see what his thing said clearly. Redacted told me the college age male who was identified as, this is a different guy, CB. Okay, so he had a shirt on that said antisocial. CB was his name. Was acting creepy. She said he was not engaging people in conversation and he was just staring at the girls in the group she was with. She told me that Redacted had been grabbing girls by the butt and being handsy. Oh, he was one of them damn dudes in the bar, y'all. Ladies, we got one of them creepers in the bar. Redacted said she confronted him and told him to stop touching girls inappropriately or she would have him kicked out of the bar. At one point, Madison introduced her redacted to him, I guess, and told her she knew him. Redacted said she let her guard down a little when it came to him and was later told by Madison that she only knew him through class and a group project in which they had worked on together. Then Redacted said a short time later he was kicked out of the bar. So Maddie didn't really know him. She just knew him as an acquaintance from class, right? Classmate. A short time later, I took a call from a bunch of Redacted. Told me he works at the, I'm assuming, the Corner Club. I don't see Adam's name pop up in here yet. Adam was the bartender. Oh, I see it up there at the top. Adam was the bartender. He's best friends with Jack Decor, Kaylee's boyfriend. What did you tell Adam? I told Adam everything. And then we did hear about a guy getting kicked out of the bar that was like, but the rumor was he was harassing Maddie, but it appears Maddie was taken up for the guy. A short time later, I took a call from All Redacted. Everyone said he has a regular customer by the name of GP who comes in almost every day. Redacted said that P makes everyone feel insecure because of the way he acts and the dark things that he says. Um, Redacted told me that P lives in the area of the homicides. I looked up, I'm saying P, y'all, because of the first letter there you can tell is a P. Has had numerous involvements with Moscow PD over the last 2 decades, some of which relate to possible mental health issues. Ooh, I wonder if this is a guy they got one of them cigarette butts from, right? Do you want to get this guy's DNA to see if it matches your DNA on that sheath? We learned early on that they did confiscate a cigarette butt, and I also have read a little, jumped ahead a little bit in some reports this morning just to kind of glim through them, and 2 cigarette butts in total apparently were turned into evidence. I wonder. So if this guy's been in contact with or involved with MPD for like over 2 decades or the last 2 decades, I'm going to venture to say he's not a college student, right? Like a grown up. He's an adult. He a full-fledged adult. So this is kind of interesting. So they were looking into people. They didn't just automatically go, okay, huge cover up. We don't look at nobody. Shut it all down. Nothing to see here. It's like, this ain't Karen Reed, you dummies. This ain't Delphi. It's damn Idaho. So what do y'all think in chat? Do y'all think they were doing or conducting a decent investigation from what we've seen so far? You know what I mean? If you've been around the case a long, long time, you understand that all these different things were being said and how lousy the investigation was, and you can't talk about it without talking about it. But Steve Gonzalez didn't help that any, coming out and telling media publicly, we don't know what the cops are doing, all these different things. Of course, he had every right to question it, but he did it so publicly that people also questioned it, right? And it's just kind of nice to see that there really were a lot of things being done. I mean, could you imagine them not doing anything and it was some big giant corruption cover up the whole entire time? It's like you would need one of the victims to literally be like the president of U of I's son, or y'all know what I mean, some shit like that. It made no sense. Then it was because you couldn't tie, like, these victims weren't like that, like, you know what I'm saying? But the house, then it became about the house, the tunnels that house is used to smuggle all them drugs for the Mexican cartels. And the university knows it, and they got to protect that house because of that reason. It's like, damn, y'all don't sleep, do y'all? Like, you don't sleep at all. Good theory, but damn. Went down that rabbit hole and them tunnels led to nowhere. Right. So Georgia, commenting about the Addies. So y'all, I know that like back in the 90s, kids were like being mass diagnosed hyperactivity before ADHD. We're talking about ADD. Back when we only had that, bunch of kids were getting thrown on Ritalin, right? I knew a couple of them. I didn't have that experience in my family. But then over the years at church, I guess they switched to the Adderall stuff. So if a kid is hyper, Adderall calms them. But if you're not a hyper person, it's like the opposite. I don't know. I thought it was like the opposite effect. May have it all wrong. I do not know nothing about the Adderall or how it works with kids who have the ADHD. But I feel like, people figured out, hey, if we label them all ADHD and throw a pill down their throat, we can all make a bunch of money. And now look how many people are on that shit. My ex-mother-in-law was a nurse, almost 30 years, pediatric nurse. She said, I'm going to tell you right now that hyperactivity shit is bullshit. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, and sugar isn't what causes these kids to be hyperactive. You know what? She was right. But the reason they're sticking all these people on Adderall and getting them, all these youngsters are now addicted to Adderall. So when the doctor suggests your little baby who's got a little bit of energy in him, when the school suggests to you that your energetic baby is hyper and needs a pill, question that. That's all I need to say on that subject. Question it. Just don't fall for it. Y'all, let's go take a break a moment. I'm going to troll the Twitter and we'll see if we have any updates on Lori. I may go head out of here and go grab something to eat and come back so we can watch Lori's BS. And like I said, I am coming back on Sunday to do a couple of hours probably live stream, and I'm gonna pick out some really important documents to go through. All right, let's see if Joe's had any latest tweets for us to look at. I told him to be tweeting. We was going to be out here trolling. He thought I meant to whip his phone out in the courtroom. I'm like, Joe, I'm not telling you to whip your phone out in the courtroom. I'm like, outside the courtroom, outside the whole building. He's like, oh. He's like, I thought you were trying to get me thrown out. I was like, nah, I'd never do that to you. Okay, follow this thread for a live update, and Joe has not updated. So, there we go. Let me pull up the... Did you guys see her interview yesterday? I think it dropped last night, maybe. I knew it was going to drop last night, but I didn't see it until this morning. We'll watch it later. Oh, wait, I just clicked the wrong damn thing. Here we go. Oh, there's people pre-gaming, we'll call that. Let's see. I'm looking for the live link to see if they're showing outside the courthouse or anything like that that we can take a look at before we head off and then come back. Oh no, they're all just showing old stuff on Lori. So I'm gonna go, guys, I think, and feed me and the grandbaby. So Ritalin is for hyper kids. What is Adderall for? Is it for hyper kids as well? Because I thought they, like I said, I don't have a personal experience. I thought they like stopped giving out Ritalin and switched over to Adderall. But hell, I don't know. Drink a Mountain Dew if you fall asleep. You might have Pokemon. Thanks a lot. You just diagnosed me. I'm not even joking. I'm a caffeine fanatic and I can drink caffeine all damn day, which I do, and I'm going to go to bed. It's weird. But I ain't taking no damn Adderall. I'll just pop a gummy and call it a day. Natural. Get some natural remedies, guys. It grows from the earth. It's medicinal. One of them healthy herbs. Yeah, they're probably getting seats and stuff, Pokemon. I didn't troll anybody else's Twitter. Like, what? Let's see if Nate Eaton's reported anything. Joe be in competition with Nate and Justin. So if they've put out something and he didn't, he's gonna have like Joe. I'm so sick of seeing Jennifer Coffendorfer on the Twitter and her bad information out there. I correct her occasionally, but nicely, and she just comments back like we're friends. I'm like, what in the world? Have you seen my videos about you, lady? Oh my goodness. That poor soul. She really needs to get a life. Why do I keep putting in the wrong person here? Okay. Oh, he's got Koberger's mugshot pinned. That little smirk. Nope, nobody's reporting anything, guys. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the morning for right now. I'll come back in just a little while. I think I'm scheduled to go back at 10:45, and we'll come back live, and we're going to do the Lori sentencing. We're going to watch the press conferences after that, and then we'll wrap it up, and I'll be on Publicly Buzzed tonight, and then back on Sunday to finish unpacking these documents. You guys, thanks for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you back here in just a little bit. All right? Y'all go take a break and come back and hang out with me. Thank you. Attention deficit disorder. I do have that. I'll do 15 things at one time and get them all done by the end of the damn day.
Thank you all for watching this here video. Please like and subscribe and follow. Much love from Little Yas to each of you.